in fertility and how best you can come out of it. The experts are here in the studio as usual. I have with me Dr. Ukechukwu Kalu. Dr. Kalu is the medical director, Life Point Fertility Center here in Oyo, Akwa Ibom State. Doctor, it's good to have you in the studio again.
Thank you very much. Yes, welcome.
All right, Dr. Kalu is not here alone. He is also with us in the studio. Is Dr. Nsikak Nyoyoko. Dr. Nsikak Nyoyoko is a fertility consultant. Doctor, welcome to the studio again.
Yeah, thank you very much, and welcome viewers.
All right, two of them will be joining us today to talk about everything regarding fertility, and today we are looking at third-party assisted conception. But before we go into details of discussion today, don't forget that this program is being supported by Life Point Fertility Center here.
Okay. Simply put, third-party assisted conception is the process of treatment that involves a third person apart from a couple. It involves another person, the guy directly or the person's gamete. So it's third-party assisted conception.
Okay, so when we talk about third party, that means the couples are not involved when it has to do with the...
They are involved, but the third person is also involved.
Okay.
So that's why it's third-party assisted conception.
Okay, so now we are going to talk about more, but let's look at the types. Doctor,
the types. Yeah. The types are, the most common one is the surrogacy type. And the surrogacy, that is for several reasons, another person, usually a female, is contracted to carry, of course a female is contracted to carry a pregnancy for a couple. And it could be that the usual one is that the person becomes only a gestational carrier, meaning that the person's gamete is not being used, either the couple's gamete or the donor gamete is used to fertilize, to then implant into the woman, transfer into the surrogate. But also at times, there's the traditional surrogacy, whereby the surrogate's gamete is involved. Most people have moved away from that. Usually, it's only a gestational surrogate. The gestational surrogacy that is advocated.
Okay.
So that's one type of third-party assisted conception. Okay. Also, if for any reason either a female's gamete or a male gamete from one side is used, that's also part of third-party assisted conception. Like the semen or the eggs of a woman could be cut, a donor egg could be cut for a woman. That's also part of third-party assisted conception.
Okay, so let's Dr. Nyoyoko, whether you have other types to add apart from what Dr. Kalu has said. Because I know that in the course of our program today, we're going to discuss the detail about the surrogacy, specifically looking at the types. But which other types of third-party assisted conception can we also discuss?
No, I think he has said it, or he talked about surrogacy, he talked about the donor sperm or donor egg, because the pregnancy is a union between the male gamete and the female gamete. So where we have a couple that has for one reason or the other are not able to achieve that union, maybe because one party lacks one of the gametes, we need a third person coming coming as a tiebreaker, kind of, to assist in ensuring that fertilization takes place. So that's basically what third party, those are basically types of the third party assisted conception.
Okay, so now an issue will now come in. Someone want to, how do you now let's look at the processes involved, because we know that a patient cannot just come and then you just recommend third party assisted conception. There are several possibly procedures must have taken place. So Dr. Kalu, let's talk a little bit about that.
Thank you. As you said, there are processes that must be done. First of all, there are legal issues that have to be dealt with, especially when it comes to surrogacy. Okay. So you must have a proper legal framework to allow you to go into it. Of course, you must be well qualified to practice assisted conception in the first place. Get a good legal framework. Most times, agencies are involved. agencies that will help in getting these surrogates. So the necessary documents are signed. But before then, even the person that is going to be a surrogate must also be checked. There are criteria that is required. I'm sure we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
So the legal thing must be done very well. The person must be examined and make sure the person is able to carry the pregnancy. Of course, same with the donor. When you have the donor, sperm, or donor egg, you must do proper assessment to make sure, medically, to make sure the person is fit. So these are the things that are done.
Okay. So let's look at the donor egg. You know that to get a donor, to get the egg, someone will be wondering at what age, what is the right age for someone to be a donor? Possibly a lady is coming up, or maybe a girl is coming up to say, okay, I want to donate egg. Do you take into consideration the age of the person? What other things do you consider?
Okay, yes. For a lady to be accepted as a donor, there are a lot of things we consider. Not only the age, actually. One, definitely the person must be of age of consent. So we're talking of from about 20 years, between 20 and 26 years of age, because those are the people that have the most valuable eggs, good quality eggs, and a good number of those good quality eggs. The person should be someone that understands, that has a good understanding to be able to give an informed consent, because there's a lot of counseling that goes on. Then of course the person should be someone that is healthy. We run a lot of tests, background check, we do a lot of biological tests. We also have to know the blood group and genotype of the patient, because if you are donating to a couple who have a particular blood group, you don't want to give them a possibility of having a child with a different blood group, so that there will be some form of understanding within the family. Even we get to the physical appearance of the patient is important. We need to even check the psychiatric evaluation for such a person as well. A donor, we don't want a donor that maybe in the middle of the whole program decides to just opt out or for one psychiatric reason or the other leaves the program. We ensure the patient is healthy. The blood group should be fine. The blood sugar should be okay. We check we also run the scan as well to check that the pelvis and the ovaries are all okay, because someone that you want to, the medications we give, they also have their effect on the body. So such a patient should be fully fit to be able to carry out this process of being a donor, of donating our eggs. So those are basically the things we do. And then she should be from a stable social background. Yeah, should be of a stable social background, because we are talking about a procedure that would require her coming to the hospital daily, to take injections, of which if she misses some of those days of injection, the whole process goes to waste. So we actually do a lot of screening, to make sure that we have patients that are very eligible for as donors.
Okay, Dr. Kadu, let's look at the issue of having these donors coming regularly for the screening and what have you. From what we've seen, there are a lot of procedures involved. But do you in case of blood donation, we can now liken it to blood donation. In the case of blood donation, someone can donate the blood and it is get for future use. Do you do that in?
Of course. Technology has evolved. It's simply called cryopreservation.
Okay.
We have the facility to cryopreserve the eggs up to 5 to 7 years. Both the eggs and the sperm that we can get. Without preserved at 96 degrees centigrade. So that's minus. Imagine that. So there's a process that is involved, so we can preserve as long as possible.
But talking about preservation in a society like ours, where we have power issue, so what?
No, do you
depend on public?
No, don't. It's the preserver using liquid nitrogen.
Okay.
A special dewars that is used to containers that is used to preserve them. So it's possible to do that.
Okay, yes, we are to bring that up, because if viewers are listening, we say, to how is that possible? So at least it is necessary to clear that out. Let's look at a male donor. The male donor, you talked about the females you go through. Does the male donor also pass through this?
Of course. It's very important you screen for infections in the male, because you need to do this. The count has to be adequate before you can even choose. But after that, you need to screen this donor, hepatitis, BC, to screen for HIV, syphilis, and all that. Make sure the person also is also stable. The most important is also the genotype and the blood group of this male donor. They must tally, right? And also the physique, the phenotype, how the person looks. You don't want to go get very short donor for a very tall man. It won't be appropriate. So these are things.
Although we are talking about third-party assisted conception, but is it only applicable to IVF?
Well, most times when you have to use any gamete at all, or you have to have an invasion of transformed tissue like blood and blood products, you must screen appropriately. So same way here. It's even more important in this circumstance because of the issues that can arise if you don't do due diligence. So you must screen appropriately. So everybody's screened. Even the people that come in, like the AFRH, we have a registry. So all this data is entered. While the member of AFRH is expected to, and AFRH is as well for fertility and reproductive health of Nigeria. So you must give your data on everything you're doing. That way, that's the only way you can also be able to audit yourself, be audited, and improve your practice. So these are things we'll do.
Okay. Yes, that reminds me. You know, you're talking about donating, and then someone maybe you have in mind to come and donate here, donate elsewhere, and donate there. So let me find out. You know, Doctor Yuko, if someone maybe there are people that know that maybe possibly want to use it as a business. So what are you expecting when someone comes for donation? Are you expected to receive cash, and then are you also allowed to donate at this center, go to another center, and also donate, and then go to another center?
Okay, well, you know, these gametes, for a woman, the eggs are kind of fixed in number from birth, unlike for that of man that is produced every day. You know, for the woman, it's kind of fixed in number. So we advise our donors not to donate frequently, not to donate. In fact, sometimes we know when a donor donated before. I donated very recently, because one of the tests that we do is a transperennial scan at the beginning, a preliminary transperennial scan. So during that time, we're screening them, and then it helps us know how many gametes she has. You know, we call it antral follicle count. So from that count, we can know that okay, we are expecting about this number of eggs from the patient. So for a young person to have less than 10 in total, it's not normal. Okay. That means that person must have donated not too long ago and has not had enough time for the ovaries to recruit more eggs, you know, to the surface of the ovary for us to be able to identify. So we always counsel them that they're not supposed to donate. In fact, donating no more than once a year is not advisable. Really, it's not advisable. And just like we've said earlier, that with the AFRH has a registry, and we encourage our members to register donors, register the processes that we've done in the facilities in that register. In foreign climes, because of their like computerized and digitalized, a donor cannot move from this place to that place without a red flag springing up, you know. And that is what we are trying to achieve. We're getting there gradually as members of AFRH. And I know one day we'll get there. It will become quite standard for donors to know that they can't jump from one center to the other to make money. The money they are giving is not a payment. Okay. If they are giving anything, it's not a payment. It's a compensation for the time. The person is paying transportation to come to the hospital every day for like 2 weeks, 10 days to 2 weeks. And then the stress, the drug person is taking, the person needs to feed well, rest well, and all that. You need to compensate for all that. And especially when that person is trying to help humanity. It's very important, because you can imagine a couple that really wants a pregnancy. You'll be saving that family. You'll be bringing peace to that family when they have a baby crying in that family. And that is what our donors have been doing for a lot of men. In fact, they are kind of one of the unsung heroes of IVF actually.
Okay, all right. Those are the challenges. We are going to talk about surrogacy in details, but that will be after this break. So you are still watching Fertility Half Hour on this channel. Don't forget that this program is supported by Life Point Fertility Center here in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. The phone number on the screen can actually help you to get in touch with the center in case you want to make any inquiry. We shall be back after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying tuned to the program Fertility Half Hour. Don't forget that this program is being supported by Life Point Fertility Center here in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. So today we continue a discussion on third-party assisted conception, and I have with me Dr. Kalu and Dr. Nyoyoko handling this topic. So Dr. Kalu, let's look at surrogacy. Today, what is surrogacy? I know that in the course of our discussion today, you've made mention of surrogacy, but we'd love to know more details about surrogacy.
Surrogacy is a type of third-party assisted conception where a lady is commissioned, so to speak, to carry a pregnancy for a couple. So, in carrying that pregnancy, it could be that the semen or the egg is coming from the surrogate, which is traditional surrogacy, but the semen is coming from the man, and she carries it to term for the couple. But the one that is more popular is gestational surrogacy, whereby a donor egg or the egg from the woman is retrieved and then used to fertilize the male sperm and transferred into the surrogate. So these are the two different types of surrogacy. Yes. Basically, most times, is due to the fact that the woman has some challenges. It could be that the woman maybe has a cancer, right? It could be that the uterus has been removed from the woman. It could be that the woman has some infection like maybe HIV that makes or hepatitis and decides it's time not to, or has a heart problem, a medical condition that makes it a life-threatening condition, makes pregnancy a life-threatening condition. So in some of these instances, these are the ones that are recognized as indications for going ahead to do a surrogacy program. Because what we're doing is we're replacing the woman with someone else. So that basically that's what surrogacy is all about.
Okay. So Dr. Nyoyoko, how common is surrogacy in Nigeria?
The truth of the matter is that surrogacy is not new. Yeah. Traditionally, surrogacy is as old as the Bible. When Abraham's wife had to tell Abraham to meet with Agai, okay? And in a traditional African society, same things have been happening like that. It's just that it's not pronounced to the world, maybe to protect the identity of the child and to protect the legal rights of the child. So surrogacy is getting more common, scientifically now in terms of the IVF was getting more common. The awareness is improving daily, okay? And because of the complications we've mentioned, we have more people. Cancers have become a bit more increased in the society. We have more people are aware of the risk of carrying pregnancy with certain diseases, life-threatening diseases like heart failure, severe cardiac diseases and respiratory diseases that could preclude them from carrying pregnancy. So just like we talk about the third party assisted conception increasing in awareness, then there's also increasing awareness of surrogacy in the country. I won't say it's not yet enough, not yet as popular as we would have wanted it to be, but there's more understanding, there's more awareness, and of course we still have the socio-economic aspects of things. Ignorance is still there to play a part. Illiteracy is still there to also affect the spread of knowledge about surrogacy. But importantly, the socio-economic effect on people probably would make them not adopt surrogacy as fast as they would, because now we're talking of multiple treatments. You're treating the surrogate, treating the woman, you're treating the man, you're treating a lot of people, the drugs and everything. But the awareness is improving. We're having more people come up for surrogacy as we go.
Okay, so before we continue, Dr. Carlo, let me find out, does Life Point Fertility Center have a surrogacy program?
Yeah, we do. We have a program that we have designed very well. We're following the right processes. So we're doing it, and a couple of them are pregnant already. But you have to differentiate surrogacy from baby factory.
Yes.
We just do not do anything that's illegal.
So now let's look at still talking about the legal aspect of it. Yeah. Let's go a little bit about privacy. Are the couples allowed? Are couples allowed to?
Yeah, very good question. Well, different centers do different things. I know that divulging this information is allowed in certain places, right? But you can also blind everybody to whatever you're doing. The surrogates, I do I make sure that nothing is revealed, so that we can protect whoever is, but to document properly, give a result. But we don't want a situation whereby a surrogate will stop tomorrow. Especially in the country where everything is not regulated and be used to harass a couple the next day. So we're very careful about that. That's what we try to make sure that everything is fully documented and signed before we go into that. Okay. But some couple will request, they want to see the picture of the surrogate. Sometimes we have that. Yeah, so they can, we try to be sure that we're doing the right thing.
Okay, yes. Talking about everything done properly, and it reminds me of a story that I heard of a surrogate who aborted the child. The boyfriend got angry and said, no, you must. In fact, they were demanding extra payment, and then when the money was not forthcoming, yes, the boyfriend insisted that they must abort the child. So in a situation where things like that happen, what is the next step to take?
Of course, the next step is to involve the law enforcement agencies. It's a very opportune situation. That's why the integrity must be taken care of. Before you become a surrogate, you want to know where you live, who you are living with. If you have a partner, have you obtained consent? At times you go ahead to talk with the partners and make sure that consent is there. Maybe the husband or the boy, whatever it is. Consent and everything is signed very well. Because it can be a very, very messy situation when that happens. Especially now that we don't have an enabling law passed fully. So we're all doing and following the British system. That's what we're doing. Our practice is tailored towards the British system. But with time, we know that it's already in the committee stage now. At the committee stage, the laws that has been enacted. So with time, when it comes out, it will be a bit more difficult for people to get into this process. But at least there will be good regulation. Lagos State has always blazed the trade. The trade when it comes to assisted reproduction. They have an enabling law that governs as ART in Lagos. The AFRH, of course, was fully involved in establishing that. So we're hoping that with time to catch up with other places, Abuja, Port Harcourt, the big cities, to spread. Because many people are doing all kinds of things in Nigeria because healthcare is not regulated in Nigeria.
Okay, healthcare is not regulated, but now in a case where the surrogates fail to keep the part of the bargain, and then maybe you take the person to court, someone might be afraid that maybe the case might be struck out for because we don't have a legal backing to.
No. That's what I just told you that even the Nigerian legal system is fashioned to using the British system. All right. So, but you don't want to go to that place. That's why you must do things properly. Ab initio. I think I want to say something about that.
Yes. Okay. Yes. About the legal aspect. You know, our laws, agreements are agreements.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
yeah. So it
agreements and agreements. So that's the reason why we get a lawyer to drop an agreement and everybody, all parties sign. So when you go out against the agreement, that on the alone is breaking the law. So despite the fact that we don't have enabling laws categorically stating how handling of garments and all that should be, we still have other laws that still protect the hospital, the clients, the patients, and the society using agreements and other like legal tools. So once the agreement is signed, it has to be honored.
Okay, so that from what you say, that means even when the couple succeed in IVF, the doctors here also celebrate.
Quite fulfilling.
Yeah. I can see. All right, so don't be afraid. Just come in, Life Point Fertility Center here in Uyo. They are here. They are ready to support you, to assist you in any way to ensure that your dream of carrying your babies come to pass. And it is on that note we end today's edition of Fertility Half Hour. Thank you so much for always being there. I've been speaking with Dr. Okechukwu Kalu. He is the medical director, Life Point Fertility Center, and also Dr. Nsika Inyoyoko, a consultant, fertility consultant. I beg your pardon. My name remains Clement Barikwe. See you next time.